Smackdown kicks off with a tag match at Charlotte Flair and Shotzi against Damage Control. Bayley kicks the tank during her entrance in a subtle touch. FTR would be proud of the vehicle abuse. Asuka pops up out of nowhere and steals the Women's Championship from Dakota Kai, which distracts Bayley as Shotzi drills her with a DDT to win. After the match, Asuka and Io go face to face for an intense stare down. In a backstage segment, Jimmy Uso comes to see Paul Heyman to tell him that he's back in the Bloodline. Paul explains it's a bit more complicated than just stating that you're in and that the decision is Roman Reigns to make. Paul walks off and bumps into AJ Styles, who manhandles him, but Paul gets saved by Jimmy Uso. He beats down AJ and leaves, having taken care of the AJ Styles problem, and Heyman calls Roman Reigns to end the segment. LA Knight is here to another electric ovation. He talks about The Miz and says he's delusional for playing dress up and make believe the last few weeks, and that John Cena was not to blame for Miz losing. Knight was just better. Knight also manages to throw shade at Kevin Nash by quoting Miz's theme song, I Came to Play, and saying that if he was a moron he would say look at the adjective, but he's not, so he says look at the verb play, a subtle line of gold from the megastar. Knight says he didn't need John Cena or his endorsement at Payback, and just as he's about to accept Miz's request for a rematch, he gets interrupted by Grayson Waller. Waller calls Knight La Knight, another subtle fun line before asking Knight if it's wise to accept Miz's challenge, considering Miz ran through Cena on Monday as if he wasn't even there. He brings out Austin Theory as the two brag about beating Rey and Santos last week. Theory then brags about beating John Cena and LA Knight before Knight cuts him off, calls the two cute together and calls them crotch goblins, whatever that means, but says that they'll get an ass kicking courtesy of the megastar, with everybody saying LA Knight. Yeah. Grayson Waller is on commentary, where we find out he will host the Grayson Waller Effect with John Cena next week on SmackDown. Into the match, it's Knight versus Theory. Towards the end, Grayson Waller takes off the buckle pad and exposes the turnbuckle. Theory goes to throw Knight into it, but he reverses and sends Theory towards it before hitting the BFT and getting the win. Backstage, LA Knight gets an endorsement from Paul Heyman, the first time we've seen Knight interact with the Bloodline, and an interesting development. Judgment Day are here, of course, now that Finn and Priest are tag champs. They'll be appearing more on both shows. They cut their usual promo before being interrupted by, yep, you guessed it, the Brawling Brutes. Things get physical as Butch snaps Finn's fingers and the two teams get into a tag match. Finn hits the coup de grace as the Judgment Day pick up the win.
Boys, I've been out drinking again. This is going to be an absolute brutal end to this one. Let's go! After the match, the Judgment Day get confronted by Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, as it's made clear who Judgment Day's next feud is going to be, at least on the SmackDown side of things. Backstage, AJ Styles breaks Carl Anderson's phone and screams at the club because they just stand around doing nothing. Honestly, I can't blame them. The club have been naff since they came back. They don't win anything or do anything. Main event time, it's Jimmy Uso versus AJ Styles. Jimmy tries to get Solo to help him behind the referee's back, but at the advice of Paul Heyman, Solo doesn't help. Jimmy comes to the outside where AJ Styles lays out both Jimmy and Solo. He gets Jimmy back in the ring and hits the phenomenal forearm for the win before bravely running away from Solo. He celebrates in the Io way, but gets jumped by Judgment Day, who throw him back into Solo for a Samoan spike as we go off the air. Thank you so much for listening to my recap of SmackDown this week. Please like, subscribe, leave your comments, let me know what you liked about the show, what you didn't like about the show, what you think that I can do better. Once again, probably if I didn't drink while making videos. Hopefully though, you all stick around and I'll see you all next time.